YOLO Composing Gloves here, and today we're going to be talking about how to fix a broken microphone cable. So I bought a microphone cable off Amazon, and I have it going right now into insert 45, and it's going into this. The mic cable is this one here, and it goes into this 57, and as you can see, there is no signal coming through, even if I talk into it. And I've got my preamp all gained up, it's all hooked up right. And so I was sitting there going, why isn't this working? And I found out that if I just move this mic cable a little bit, it seems, oh, we've got some signal. So we've got some issues here with the actual connector on the cable. So we're gonna go ahead and fix that today. You can actually, using this, you can actually build your own, which is, I swapped it out for my own little homemade one. And that's how I figured out that, oh, this thing's broken. Great. Now, in their defense, I complained because I was like, I can fix this, sure, but I want it. So they did send me a new one that this does work. So much better than the original, but they didn't say I had to return this old one. So I figured, hey, let's give it a shot. Let's just fix it. It's really easy. Basically what happens is there's just a poor solder job in there. However they connected up the wires, they're not making good contacts. All you have to do is cut the wire open, re-solder the contacts on, and we should be good to go. And I'll get two mic cables, one with a little extra effort, but totally worth it, especially since I really like the cabling. So let's go ahead, let's do that. So you're gonna need a solder gun for this, and so go ahead, just grab your solder gun, plug it in, heat it up, and we will get going from there. So the main issue we were having was this cable here, the input, right? When we wiggle it, that means that there's something funny going on in there. So we're going to go ahead and take this off and see if we can't figure out more exactly what's going on here. So we're just taking the screw out of this XLR, pretty easy, Phillips head. So the way these things are put on is they're like a friction fit. So, you know, this is a circle, so it's gonna get caught as we pull it down. So all you have to do is push up and you'll get it to come right on out. And we could see the solder job they did. So let me give you a closer look here. This is what they did. Actually, it looks all right. I don't know if I can bring that into focus. It looks all right. I don't see why I'm having issues, but I am. So we're going to simply trim this and make it a little, just re-solder it. Hope that fixes it. That's what we're gonna do. It looks like the issue is actually a little later down in the wire. Looks like the connections were fine, but it looks like we may have had issues with this lower part. So we're just gonna snip it a little lower, re-strip, and then solder the ends. So the order is pretty important. Just match the order that you see already in front of you. But if you need to, you can always look it up. We have each one of these pins, 1, 2, 3. What is it? They're labeled. 2 goes to positive. Can't tell what color that is. Blue. I don't know if blue is ground in this case or not. Negative is blue, I believe. So that'd be 2 and 1 is ground. But anyways, yeah. Friendly reminder, solder fumes are toxic. I have a fan over there, as you saw earlier. I'm gonna turn that fan on. But just so you know, just be careful. You don't wanna be inhaling solder fumes. So my method for this is I'm just gonna try and pull it off. Oh, hey, you know what? As I was desoldering this little wire on the red, this would explain it. So like if I turned it a certain way, right, it would start working. This little wire on the red right here wasn't even freaking connected to the inside. So there's our problem. Remember to wipe your tip off after soldering. Or desoldering, I guess. Thought of an easier way to do this. Let's just snip this piece off and just desolder the metal tips that are left. I'm just gonna leave the solder on because maybe I can use this to solder on the new wire. So we'll see how that works out. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to take the wire that we've cut. I'm just gonna re-strip it. So we're gonna take the copper wiring. So this is shielded, but we're gonna take the copper wiring and this is gonna form our ground. And then on the blue and the red, we're just gonna strip off the wiring here. I'm also gonna cut off this excess stuff that's in nice cables that's not in the cables I normally use. Okay, I actually have different wire strippers I like a lot more. These ones are good. With wire of this size, I go with, it's kind of confusing because the numbers are, well, they're the same. I go with 22 usually on the strippers. On the strippers, go with 22. You should have something that looks, you know, something like this. Red, blue, this thing. The first time I made one of these wire things, XLRs, I had a horrible solder gun. So I thought I was just awful at soldering. I don't claim to be great, but it wasn't as bad as I thought I was. Turned out I just needed a better solder gun. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and do this now. Yeah, red to 2, blue to 3. So 2 is this one. It's that pin right there. That's 2. Looking at it from this sort of a view. This top one, that's 2. I'm gonna grip it by not 2. I don't want this to get all hot on me. They also have this nice little de-stressor for the wire cable, which I think is just radical. I need to open it a bit more. I'm sure there's a better tool to do this. Oh, you know what? Let's twist this to the orientation I want this in first. Thought of an easy way of opening it finally. I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner. Stick them in, stick whatever you're gonna use, and just start opening it up. It'll open the sides without worrying about breaking the back. Make sure your strands are very woven together, I guess is the way to say it, so that when you solder it, it's not gonna cause problems. And having a little thing to hold it in place for you is pretty helpful. Is my soldering job beautiful? No, I'm pretty dang still new at soldering, especially compared to some people. But if mine works when theirs didn't, then mine is therefore better. So there you have it. That's our solder job, or my solder job. Could it be better? Definitely. Will it work? Probably. And we'll have a working wire, which is really nice. A lot of people will throw away wires, especially if you're working with like a live band or something, just because they're not really expenses to them as much as they would be to like someone like me who just sort of does stuff on their own a bunch. So they'll toss out perfectly repairable wires, and I'll take advantage of that. Just go home and fix them up, and you've got yourself a wire. I mean, some of the wires they'll throw out too are like, you know, some of them are like 40, 50 bucks. This one, you know, is just a cheapo one that was like, I don't know, $15, $20, can't remember, off Amazon. And you can make these wires yourself, as you saw earlier with my version. So if you just have a piece of wire that's got 2 conductors and a ground, you can make these yourself. Just buy these, and these are like, I don't know, $3 for the tip, and then the wire, you know, is freaking dirt cheap. So you can build a cable that's the same length for, I don't know, like $5, $6 in total, and it could just be massive, and you can make your own custom length cables, which is something that is often desirable. And these can work great. I don't have strain relief in mine, so that's something that, you know, oh, maybe I could include that. It's not that hard to include, just to include one of these things. So we'll just tighten this up, slap the cap back on, and we will work from there. This is old statistics homework, because I don't want to drop hot solder. Hot solder normally doesn't come off, but when it does, got our strain relief. Hopefully that's not an issue. Simply slide the cover back on. And we want to line up this hole with where our bolt was, which is right there. Where's that screwdriver at? So there you go, got it lined up. Grab the bolt, not losing it. See, it's not that hard to repair these. It's pretty easy peasy. Don't tighten it on too straight, you don't want to strip it. So okay, let's test it out. Okay, so take our newly fixed wire. main reason this was an issue is because I was trying to plug this into one of the preamps wired in the back, and it wasn't working at all. So I thought straight up things were missing. Let's plug this in. And we'll go into channel 1 again. And this is a test, and we can see there we are. We've got our signal. It's uncompressed. I could probably gain the mic up a bit more, but hello. We got ourselves a working mic cable. Let's check the back, because that's where I want to plug it in. Because the wire bends over the way it does, it wasn't working like at all. So now we are going to test the back. Let me turn the solder gun off. Okay, please don't turn off again. So we're gonna go to channel 8 after turning off the master. It switches my audio interface if I do this, so we'll see. And, oh, it works, haha. In channel 8, yes. There you have it. That's how you fix a microphone cable. It's not that hard. Just solder on, do a little bit of wire stripping. Tools, I had some pliers. I guess I should have told you this at the beginning. Some wire strippers. I had 2. They're slightly different, but they do the same thing. This one's nice because it's got like it's like I have another one here. They're like these. They got the snips at the end, followed by this and a couple ways to grab wires. I like this because it's got like plier kind of grips at the end, and these strippers just have been a little easier to use in general. And then of course a Phillips head screwdriver in my case. So, you know, real standard stuff, nothing 40-60 solder gun, that kind of thing. If you have any questions, let me know. Subscribe and have a blessed day.